For the past 15 or so years, Twitch has been the dominant gaming streaming platform, and as well as streaming in general, although in the past few years, YouTube and TikTok and even Kick a little bit have started to catch up. And actually this year during Q3, for the first time ever as a long-form streaming platform, Twitch dropped below 50% market share. Here's a little graphic from Stream Hatchet to help make things a little bit easier for you, being able to see where we're at. Twitch has not dropped below this number ever. And there's a few reasons you could say for it, including how they tried to crack down on view bots, although realistically it appears they might have just actually turned off lurkers for a lot of streamers, because most of the streamers who seem to be affected are the streamers between the 50 to 200 viewer range, where they really can notice if just like their viewer count drops by a few people. Meanwhile, the biggest streamers on the platform, who largely have those accusations towards them, and some have even kind of openly talked about doing it, have seen absolutely no change in their view counts. So it seems Twitch absolutely failed on the view count department, and that could be attributing to why they've lost a good chunk of their market share. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for this, a tweet that they just dropped, which I thought was very interesting. Sorry, wrong one. This one, I actually had pulled up these two as well, because you'll notice they look very similar, as this one's from October 18th, where the Emiru incident happened at TwitchCon, as well as the first apology tweet that happened after. Here's the third one that just went out today, which I thought was very interesting. And it's kind of getting spoiled a little bit by a tweet here at the bottom. But basically they go on to then apologize again for what they failed to do at TwitchCon and how they're trying to make it better by, in recognition of Emiru's advocacy, Twitch will making a donation to support nonprofit organizations working to prevent sexual violence. And it was actually followed by a tweet from Dan Clancy, who is the CEO. If you don't remember from that whole saga, Dan basically went on a interview after the incident and basically implied that it was Emiru's fault for cultivating a community like that and should have banned her from her chat, or banned the individual from her chat. If you know anything about streaming in the year of 2025 at all, you know that that's not how that works, and that would not do anything, and putting the blame on her is absolutely fucking stupid, and it's even stupider coming from the CEO of the largest streaming platform currently on the planet. But this is the thing that I thought was very interesting. So he goes on to basically say that he's sorry and that he could have done better with what he was saying, and that he has a great deal of empathy for creators such as Emiru, and that he basically let Twitch down, and that they're working to improve it for the future and show up better to make people, you know, try to build some trust in Twitch once again. And I find it very, very interesting that they're doing that right now, weeks later, as right now we're in Q4. Now, Q4, if you've worked in any marketing or content or anything in that aspect, you know Q4 is a big deal for many companies, because that's when they spend big money, especially on ads, as they try to capture that holiday season Christmas market and people spending for the holidays. Twitch has started to see over the last couple of years a little bit of a dip, right? There was the whole adpocalypse last year, and overall, I can tell you as a streamer myself, I've definitely noticed a bit of a decline. Maybe part of that's from the lurkers not counting as well, but at least in my own experience, that's all I can tell you. Hey, don't come from me. I'm just the messenger on that department telling you my experience. Interestingly, though, they waited a few weeks till after the event to say, oh yeah, we're working on it again, and basically said we're going to pledge some money to a cause to, you know, support those that are affected by sexual assault, violence, and, you know, try to make things right. And I don't think they could have picked a worse time, genuinely. And I think that maybe they were even getting pressured by Big Daddy Amazon potentially to be like, hey guys, let's fix that, especially right now. And you might be saying, well, why do you think that's a bad time? Well, chat, I don't think you guys might not know. And I mean by chat, Twitch might not know. They've been coming out of a lot of fire recently, because this creator, Nina Lin, got banned last week. You see the post is from October 30th. I think this was the second ban. The first one was only a day. This one, which actually, as of today, was an unban, was for 2 different clips where she had assaulted male streamers on camera. Granted, this is not my territory. I don't go down this road very often. It's not stuff I really look into that much. I know lots of shit happens on Twitch. I'm not really the best reporter of those kinds of incidents, and I want to acknowledge that. However, though, I can't help but sit here and basically just rub my temples, rub my eyes, and go, you're clearly in hot water somewhere, right? Having the CEO go onto Twitter and grovel 3 weeks after the event's over, where everyone's, for better or for worse, kind of moved on because other headlines have taken over, to then put out the tweets and say, hey, we're apologizing for this thing. We want to be better and support those who are affected by sexual violence, on the same day that you unban someone who's done it twice and only gave them a 7-day ban. I don't get it. I don't understand what you're doing at that point. And I know that Twitch is a bit of an easy quote unquote target, maybe, to talk about, you know, you should be doing better. As a streamer myself, I can't help but look at this right now and be like, what do we do, right? It seems like every platform has issues. With Twitch, you go into Twitch and you see things that are happening like this right now. You see, if you're, especially if you have like a lot of lurkers in your chat, you may have noticed that your view counts have been lower, even if your chat experience is about the same and all your analytics look about the same. Meanwhile, the people who actually view bot and actually cheat their way to the top continue to rake in millions and also continue to thrive. And a lot of times too, it's actually even more dark than that. A lot of times creators that are growing or are at the top, a lot of times the reason why you see them everywhere is endless clip farms and having actual entire networks of clippers to basically repost their content 1,000,000 times over. And unless you're someone that has all those types of resources, you're like, man, how do I keep up with that? How am I supposed to keep up with these people in an attention-based economy? And it's even worse than that now with Twitch. For those who don't know, Twitch has implemented a new feature called Stream Together. Granted, it's been around for a while, but people didn't really use it because the only way it would work is if you combined your chats, and combining multiple chats together sometimes doesn't work out. I don't do it very often because my chatbot is actually just the most evil and apparently supreme overlord of all chatbots, and my chatbot will ban other people's chatbots. I've seen it happen. It's funny as shit. That said, though, there's been an update where you don't have to do that anymore. What you see accounts doing is they team up with 5 or 6 other streamers, and they don't even stream together sometimes. They all just boost themselves to the top. And Twitch is a kingmaker platform where if you're at the top, everyone sees you. Once you get past that first row, you're basically gone. And so you see that. You see the rise of 24/7 channels, which I have one as well, because everyone has been doing them and using them, but they take it even a step further where they'll collaborate with other 24/7 channels and try to take over the top of categories, or try to do it with their own channel so they have maximum viewership going into each other. And then you have all of these issues where the platform basically only takes action. Twitter gets mad or Reddit gets mad, and they're so flippy floppy with what they end up deciding to do. You're like, what the fuck's going on here? Then you go to YouTube, and YouTube, granted, I think is probably the best one right now. Granted, the discoverability is kind of horrible, but that's the whole point of the videos and the shorts. And apparently they also have now short streaming, but I haven't done that myself and I don't know how it works. Streaming on TikTok is fucking horrendous. You deal with every 10 seconds some 7-year-old iPad user swinging by and dropping some slurs, or you swear too many times and daddy TikTok gets mad at you and takes you out of the algorithm, or you just get banned for like someone randomly reporting you. And then you have Kick, which obviously has its reputation for gambling and lots of degenerate shit that's happened there. And so as a streamer, you sit there and you just go like, where do you go? What do you do? And it makes me really sad to see stuff like this, where it's like, it almost seems like it's kind of pandering to people saying, oh, like, we're going to try to be better. And you choose to do it weeks later, and also the same day that you're unbanning someone for that exact reason. I'm just going to show you the clip, man. You tell me what you see.
W chat. I want to say W chat. So all the haters out there, y'all can suck my dick. Word 2, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you bitches, bro. You bitches not me. Y'all been through nothing that I've been through. Fuck you. This ain't the worst it's ever been. I'm not gonna lie. It's bad to say, but this is not the worst it's ever been. I've been through worse. I've actually been through worse. So this jail was kind of like vacay jail a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I don't know. Maybe coming back and saying it was vacation jail after getting off very light, to be honest. Certainly a decision. I'd like to see Twitch turn back around and be like, nah, we're not going to let this shit fly no more. Because as a creator myself, it is a little, what's the word? saddening, disheartening, what I don't know what how I would want to describe this fully, is obviously we live in an attention-based economy, and seeing people rewarded for abhorrent behavior, especially, you know, when you get banned and come back, a lot of times that's almost like a popularity boost in a lot of ways, especially after recent events. And Twitch says it wants to take itself seriously and, you know, start to right its wrongs. You kind of have a good opportunity to right here. Will they take it? I don't know. Regardless, though, I have definitely started to consider thinking more about streaming and Twitch and YouTube and TikTok and whatnot, because I do genuinely love it more than anything. But it really has changed a lot in the last couple of years, and I can't say it's all been for the good.